My dear, love doesn't whisper forever. It screams until we finally hear the silence between the screams. You left shadows where light once danced. I still feel their cold touch on my skin. Love is not a promise. It's the pain we're willing to carry for another's heartbeat. When you broke me, you didn't just shatter trust. You fractured my soul's quiet song. The deepest wounds are carved by those who swore to heal us. I loved you like the universe loves the stars. Silently, endlessly, but unseen, every goodbye echoed louder than our whispered, I love you. Healing begins when the heart stops begging for what was never truly ours. Sometimes love is just a ghost haunting the empty rooms of memory. I watched your eyes change and realized love was never the same for us. The ache of missing you is a prayer my broken soul keeps repeating. You held my heart like glass, fragile, beautiful, until it shattered beneath your weight. The silence between us carries the loudest regrets I never voiced. You were the storm that taught my heart to dance in the rain. Loving you was my soul's rebellion against loneliness, even when it hurt. Our love was a wildfire, passionate, uncontrollable, but destined to burn out. I still hear your name in the quiet moments I'm too afraid to speak. When love fades, it leaves behind a ghost that never learns to leave. The hardest part is loving someone who's already lost their way. You are the wound that taught me how to bleed and still breathe. Love whispered lies, but my soul remembered the truth in your absence. I loved you beyond reason, but reason pulled me back to myself. Sometimes the heart breaks to make room for something real. I don't miss you. I miss who I thought you could be. The scars you left are constellations I trace when the night feels empty. Loving you was a lesson in silent surrender and fierce hope. Our love story was written in shadows, hidden from the sun's truth. You never held my heart. You just borrowed it until you got tired. The space between us is filled with every unspoken apology I wanted to hear. I chased your light, forgetting I was chasing a fading star. To love fiercely is to risk shattering beautifully. I'm learning to love myself in the silence you left behind. Love's greatest betrayal is waiting for a return that never comes. Your absence taught me more about love than your presence ever did. I carry pieces of you like relics, fragile reminders of what once was. The heart's deepest ache is missing the person who never truly stayed. Love doesn't always heal. It sometimes teaches how to survive the wounds. You were my sweetest addiction and my cruelest heartbreak. I loved you in secret places even your silence couldn't reach. Every heartbreak is a doorway to a new kind of freedom. You loved me like a storm, intense, chaotic, and impossible to hold. The echoes of your promises still haunt my quietest nights. I gave you my forever, but you only wanted a moment. Our souls whispered truths the world was too afraid to hear. I am the silence after your storm, still but never broken. Sometimes love is the pain that teaches us who we truly are. Your goodbye was the universe's cruelest form of honesty. I loved you even when the world told me not to. The space you left is a sacred place where healing begins. Love is the ache that never fades, only transforms. I held your heart like a prayer, hoping it would find me again. Our love was a fragile flame dancing between hope and despair. You taught me how to love without guarantees, without safety. I am still unraveling the threads of a love that never was. Love sometimes means letting go before the heart fully understands. You were my deepest wound and my greatest teacher. I whispered your name into the void and found only echoes. Healing is loving yourself fiercely after losing someone you thought was forever. The ache of loving you lingers in the silence of my soul. You left footprints on my heart that time cannot erase. Loving you was a beautiful lie I almost believed. Sometimes the hardest love is the one that never finds a home. Your absence carved a hollow space where love once lived. I loved you like the ocean loves the shore, constant, patient, and endless. We were two stars that burned too bright and faded too fast. You were my heart's wildest dream and darkest nightmare. Sometimes love is the shadow that teaches us how to stand in light. I still carry your name like a sacred secret. Our love was a language only our souls could understand. The deepest love often leaves the quietest scars. You taught me the cruel beauty of loving without being loved back. I am the story you forgot to finish. Love is the art of surviving the heartbreaks we never saw coming. You held my heart in your hands and let it slip away. I loved you beyond words, beyond time, beyond reason. Sometimes loving you was the only way I knew to be alive. Your silence was the loudest goodbye I never heard coming. I am healing in the space where your love once lived. The soul never forgets the ones who taught it to love deeply. If this touched your soul, don't scroll. Like, comment your favorite quote, and subscribe for more. Loving you was a sacred rebellion against all the world's loneliness. You were the wound that taught me how to bleed and still hope. Sometimes love is the pain that opens the heart's closed doors. I carried your love like a secret flame in my darkest nights. Our love was a fragile dance between holding on and letting go. You left me beautiful scars that shine under the moonlight. I loved you like the universe loves the stars, quietly, endlessly. The silence after you left was louder than any argument. I am the echo of a love that once breathed in your soul. Sometimes love is the hardest goodbye wrapped in the softest promises. You were my storm and my calm all at once. I loved you with a fierce tenderness that scared even myself. Healing is the quiet courage to love yourself after loss. Your absence is a sacred space where new love begins. I carry your name like a prayer in my broken heart. Love sometimes means letting go before the heart it is ready. You were my sweetest pain and my cruelest healing. I'm still learning to breathe without you in my lungs. Our love was written in the stars but lost in the night. Loving you was the bravest thing my heart ever did. Love's silence sometimes shouts the truth louder than words ever could. You were the storm I didn't see coming, but learned to dance within. The hardest part, loving someone who's already lost to their own shadows. I still carry your name, whispered in the sacred corners of my soul. Our hearts collided like galaxies, beautiful, chaotic, and forever changed. Loving you was my soul's rebellion against quiet loneliness. The scars you left shine brighter than any broken promise. Sometimes love is the wound that teaches you how to heal. You held my heart like a fragile secret, then let it fall. Our love was a quiet song no one else could hear. I loved you beyond reason, beyond time, beyond what words can hold. The space you left echoes with every unspoken "I'm sorry." Healing began when I stopped begging for your return. You were my fiercest lesson in loving without guarantees. I am the shadow of a love that never fully bloomed. Your absence taught me how to fill my own empty spaces. Loving you was the bravest surrender my heart ever knew. Sometimes love's greatest truth is found in its quietest moments. You were the pain that taught me how to love fiercely. I carried your love like a flame through my darkest nights. Our love was a constellation only my soul could map. I loved you in silence, where words could never reach. Your goodbye was the cruelest form of cosmic honesty. Love isn't always a story, it's sometimes the silence after. I am healing in the sacred space your absence carved. You left fingerprints on my soul no time can erase. Loving you was a dance between holding on and letting go. Sometimes the deepest love leaves the quietest scars. Your love was the wildest fire my heart ever dared to hold. I loved you like the ocean loves the shore, endless, patient, The hardest goodbye is the one spoken without a word. You were the ghost in my heart's quietest dreams. I am learning to love myself after loving you too much. Our love was the secret language of two wandering souls. You taught me how to love without safety nets or guarantees. I carry your memory like a sacred prayer in my chest. Sometimes love is the wound that teaches how to survive. You held my heart like glass, fragile and precious, until it broke. I loved you like a sacred rebellion against all my fears. The silence between us is louder than any argument ever was. You were my brightest star and my darkest night intertwined. I still hear your name whispered in the corners of my mind. Loving you was both my greatest joy and my deepest pain. I am the echo of a love that time could not tame. Sometimes love is the courage to say goodbye and still hope. You left a sacred emptiness that taught me how to grow. I loved you fiercely, even when you could not love me back. Our love was the quiet storm that reshaped my soul forever. I carry the weight of your absence like a silent prayer. You were the wound and the healing my heart never expected. Loving you was my soul's wildest act of faith and surrender. The space you left is a sacred place where new love grows. I loved you beyond words, beyond time, beyond all reason. You taught me that sometimes love means walking away with grace. I am healing, one quiet breath at a time, without you. Our love was a secret song only the stars could hear. I loved you like the universe loves the night sky endlessly. The silence you left behind speaks louder than any goodbye.